Hi, this is Boris, welcome to Movie Messenger. I wanted to give you my opinion on Venom without any spoilers, except that Venom wins at the end. Of course, you have to watch the movie to see how. I know it's like saying Rocky wins at the end of a Rocky movie. Is it a different superhero film like Logan? No. But the movie was fun. I never got bored and it was the right length. As I mentioned in one of my earlier videos, I want to watch a movie at the cinema where I don't have to go on a bathroom break. It has to be short enough for me to hold. In short, the movie was better than I expected. Venom, which is supposed to be R-rated, is directed by Ruben Fleischer, who also directed Zombieland. The movie stars Tom Hardy, Michelle Williams, Riz Ahmed. It's a story about the reporter Eddie Brock, who acquires the powers of a symbiote. He has to release his alter ego Venom to save his life. Interesting trivia for those who want to see Tom Holland's Spider-Man face off against Venom someday on the big screen. In the brilliant movie Loke, starring Tom Hardy, Tom Holland plays a role as his son's voice. I'm not the only one who does this, but since I want to pitch ideas for the sequel at the end of this video, I would like to focus on the positive things, but let's get the bad things out of the way. The characters require depth, especially Michelle Williams' character. She just breaks up with him because she lost her job. I know they try to show that Eddie Brock is a badass and doesn't follow rules, but I didn't buy it. And don't let me talk about the villain played by Riz Ahmed. The actor is fine, but he was just another rich bad guy copied from a James Bond movie. He wasn't given enough to work with. One of the most boring things in a movie is exposition. For those who don't know, here is the definition from the net. Exposition is a device used in television programs, films, literature, poetry, plays, and even music. It is the writer's way to give background information to the audience about the setting and the characters of the story. But here they found a clever way, as we get a lot of information from the conversation between Eddie Brock and Venom, and I thought it was pretty smart. Tom Hardy chose to do this role because his son loves Venom, and you can see he's having a lot of fun with the character. I didn't know this, but apparently the director received too much pressure to make changes to the movie. It seems to be just another troubled production from Sony. Here are some other thoughts that rattled inside my head as I was watching Venom. I remember first watching the trailer and reading some comments. Of course, the first one were, why is he so shiny? Because otherwise, whenever he would move, you would see only a silhouette. He's not Batman. The other complaint I read was in the lines of, if they can make a real costume design close to the comics like in Deadpool, how come they didn't follow the Venom design from the comics? After all, he's a CGI character. First, I don't know why an alien would have a design pleasing to the human eye. Also, that design was invented to give Spider-Man a new costume in the comics, so personally I didn't miss it. Besides, they can work it in the sequel. I know I'm getting ahead of myself. There are two after-credit scenes. One for setting up the Venom sequel, and one about another movie which is going to come out soon. If you haven't watched the movie, I don't want to spoil it, but there are some footage on YouTube. For some reason I thought that Todd McFarlane created Venom, but I read an article, I have put the link in the description below, that Venom was actually pitched by a fan who didn't get any credit for it. This sucks, especially considering the popularity of the character. He's one of the most popular villains in Marvel Universe. This is not the first time Marvel has done this. Did you know that Wolverine was actually based on a fan art? Anyway, I digress. As a guy who writes and draws his own webcomic series, wink, I want to see creators credited at the end of the movie. I mean, DC movies credit their creators, why not Sony? Now for my ideas for the sequel. First, they need to keep Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock. He's the soul of the movie, and they need to keep the fun, light tone. Now that the origin story is out of the way, they can explore new ideas. For me, what seemed to be at first just another way to monetize on a comic book property, after watching the movie it gave me some great ideas. Since I love philosophy, we hear this dialogue in the trailer. Venom says, we can do whatever we want. We can incorporate the fact that Venom wants to do things that Eddie can't. An alien commenting on humans' free will can be interesting. Furthermore, freedom according to a symbiote is not the same as for a human. Also, in the end of the movie, Eddie tells Venom that he can possibly kill only bad people. I don't believe in coincidences, but I am in the middle of reading Yuval Noah Harari's Homo Deus. And as I was getting home on train after watching the movie, I continued reading the book and I read this. This is an extract from the book. I quote, "Murder is wrong not because some god once said, 'Thou shalt not kill.' Rather, murder is wrong because it causes terrible suffering to the victim, and if an action does not cause anyone to feel bad, there can be nothing wrong with it." End of quote. Basically, he is arguing in the book that we have gone from the Middle Ages where the right thing was what God commanded, to the modern times where we begin worshipping humanity and we base the definition of good and evil on how we feel. So there can be interesting discussion in the sequel story about the definition of evil according to symbiote and according to a human. This can also show us the importance of facts and seeking the truth. After all, Eddie Brock is a reporter. Talking about evil, even if we root for Venom, he's a supervillain because he eats people, so he kills people. It's like in the series Dexter, you start caring about Dexter, but the fact is he's a serial killer who kills people after checking with absolute certainty that they are killers. To finish, I really enjoyed this movie, so much so it motivated me to make a video about it. Sure, it could have been better if they let the filmmakers play with interesting ideas in the sequel. What do you think will happen? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe and check out the other things I do. If you have any suggestions on how I can improve my videos, please let me know. Until next time, where I talk about some other movie worth watching before you die, this is Boris, Movie Messenger, signing off.